Okay, so I've been looking at my wood stove for a long time, and in the last 6 weeks it's developed a very strong flue gassy kind of smell. So the smell is very strong in this semicircle right here. And in trying to solve this problem, I've got some kindling here. This is cypress leylandi, I guess, or something similar to that. Very flammable, and if you don't quite ignite it, it can make a very smoky fire. So what I did was I lit a fire and I closed the damper, and once that was closed, this whole chamber was just completely full of smoke. So I dimmed the lights and then I used my head torch to just go around and look for any smoke that was coming out of any joins. As you can see, I've done quite a messy attempt at putting in fire grout at the neck of the stove. I put fire grout in between the stove and the flue, and I even speculated that maybe the welds here were a little bit thin, so I put some extra fire grout there. None of it has made any difference at all. I cannot see any smoke. But when the firebox temperature is hot, with the damper wide open, above 100 degrees Celsius, that's when the smell of flue gases come out here. And the hotter the firebox temperature, the stronger the smell is. I have speculated whether these box tubes were the source of the leak, and I put in some foil over the box tubes and redid the test, and I've redone it many times. The other thing I've done is I've checked the air supply. So it comes down here in this insulated pipe from underneath the floor. So I've removed that pipe and I've done the test with an air supply directly from the room with a window open, and I get the same result. Nothing changes the result at all. Now the air supply comes up through the back, and it goes up this box tube here, goes into the top of the firebox in a big loop, comes back down, and then out here. And then it comes out through those nozzles right there. Now, other people have said that it's if you're getting a fire in your stove and you're getting the smell of flue gases, then it must mean you've got a positive pressure because of a blocked flue. Now, I've checked that as well. I've stuck a camera above the baffle plate in this stove, and I looked straight up and I could see the flue cap and daylight at the top of the flue. I've also done a smoky test, and I've checked the flue to see whether smoke is leaking out at any of the joins in that chimney, and there's no problem. So my question is whether what I'm smelling is actually off-gassing directly from the surface of this. If I put my nose just outside this flange here, I can't smell any gases whatsoever. If I put my nose right up against the chimney, the smell of gases is much weaker. I've tried to put fire cement around these penetrations for the screws. None of it makes any difference. I'm just wondering now whether this, when the stove is 9 years old, can produce any kind of off-gassing at high temperatures. It's a wild guess. If you're getting flue gases but no smoke, that would suggest a positive pressure, which would suggest either a blocked flue supply, or it would suggest a lack of air supply. I've checked the air supply. So I took some compressed air and I just simply blew it straight up the back of the wood burning stove, and I just put the back of my hand across the nozzles inside the firebox, and I could feel that the air supply underneath the floor, I've checked that visually. There are no dead rats. There were some spiders' webs at the inlet, but again, there were no. It made no difference whether I cleared those away or not. So I'm really at a loss as to how to solve this problem. Chimney sweeps are difficult to get hold of, and I very much appreciate some advice.